Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while. I hope you've been missing me. I've been missing you. We're going to spill a little bit of tea today, but first, things aren't feeling right. I think we need to turn up the heat a little bit. Now I feel at home. So today I'm joined by King Jason, and he has a little bit of tea to spill. So make sure you like this video and subscribe. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's begin. Today I'm joined by King Jason, and he actually, uh, asked me to, do this video and for him to come on and talk to me because he has some things to say. Also asked me to invite the Slot Cats and Brian Christopher to come on because that's what this video is about. So I sent them an email and I posted it on my community wall that I asked them. And obviously they're not here, which, I knew that they wouldn't come. So I guess let's start with the Slot Cats. So you were friends with the Slot Cats, right? You met them out in Vegas or whatnot.
I did. And if I could just build on what you said, there was more than one other slot channel that approached me to tell my story. And I'm
Wait,
not
wait,
one that would,
there's someone else in the Slack community that wants you to spill tea on their channel?
there was, and
Oh,
I'm not ordinarily one who's very comfortable presenting like dirty laundry publicly. But when people ice you out or don't talk to you, there's no real other way, I guess, to get your point across or out. And there's just so much that I personally, this is about my story. Like all I can speak for is myself.
right.
I will never misspeak about anything else other than what I know and what I've experienced. So this
Right.
is my
And
experience.
like full disclosure, I did that video on
Mhm.
the Slot Cats and what happened at Feline Fest. And I actually asked you, if you were there. I asked you if you knew anything about it. And you told me, no, I wasn't there.
Right.
No, I didn't hear anything. And no, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny anything that happened there. You didn't, make up a story or anything like that. And you were friends with them at the time
I
when I asked you
was.
that. And you even told me, you said, everything I know of Heidi, she's this nice person and I could never imagine her doing anything like that. So fast forward to now, obviously, maybe your feelings about her have changed a little bit because you and her had a falling out. I didn't really know what happened, but you messaged me and told me. So go ahead and tell the story about exactly what happened with Heidi.
Well, everything started out really well with the slot cats. They had approached me to meet like for brunch one time on a Vegas trip. I didn't know them very well. I passed by them at some events, like for instance, there was a charity slot tournament that I actually had won for quote unquote slot stars,
The
where
everyone that
everyone,
Brian was
I was a
at and
new quote
Slot
unquote
Late
slot star.
Slot Lady was there,
I
right?
didn't perceive myself as a star, but yes, Slot Lady was there, Diana Avani was there, Brian was there, the Slot Cats were there. So I had a couple of occasions where I just like interacted with them in passing. And then ultimately, we had some lunch one time, we became friends. They wanted to join my Patreon group, which was called the Cordies. And I was really honored. I was like, wow. So, I joined their Patreon as well. And we started hanging out a lot. Like every time I would go to Vegas, we would have dinner at least once during the trip. Frequently, we would do lives together. I mean, I even would wake up on my vacation early in the morning on a Sunday after I'm playing until 4 or 5 a.m. just to go to their live. So I tried to be a really decent friend to them, and I thought they were a good friend to me. And then one thing pretty much changed everything. Okay. So I was in their live in the chat, just supporting the chat, as a good friend would.
So this was
Um,
just one of their live, like just one of their random live streams.
yeah, it was just one of their random weekly live shows, probably the Sunday morning one.
Hmm.
And I actually was running a premiere that night. And I would never, ever think to use someone else's chat or show to push my show. You know what I mean? So someone in the show, a mutual fan and supporter of
In their
ours,
chat.
in their chat, did a direct question to me at King Jason Slots, are you live tonight? Or something to that degree. It was a premiere I was running.
Right.
I wrote at so-and-so, yes, at 8 p.m. or whatever it was. That's all I did. Okay. I spent the whole hour in the show chatting with everyone because we have such nice fans and supporters, and I love doing that. And then I get this text message from Heidi after the show, like a couple hours later, and I decided to share it with you just now. You know, I sent it to you, and it was just shocking. Like, I couldn't believe how she approached me.
Right. So I'm gonna read it, and then I'll also post it up on the screen. So she said to you, need to talk to you about earlier. We don't do self-promoting on our live streams unless we direct everyone to do so. If you would have asked before the stream, we would have mentioned your premiere on camera. The mod didn't know what to do since we are friends, and they didn't delete the comment. Shortly after, several slot channels started doing the same thing, promoting videos and their live streams. Our mod timed them out. I've already gotten several messages to sort out. So please next time ask us first, and we will agree how and when to promote your premiere, live streams, etc. Thanks for understanding. So that was her initial message to you. Now, before I even go any further, I just think it's like absolutely ridiculous because you guys are friends, and
We were friends.
right,
Yeah.
right. But you guys were friends at the time. Number one, who cares who's promoting what in someone's live stream? You know, I feel like anytime someone says like, "Oh, I'm a new channel, check out my videos," I'm like, "Okay, they're a new channel, check out their videos." Like, what do I care for? Like, I don't care that someone's promoting themselves in my chat, and I'm sure you know most people don't. I always found it was weird that the slot cats would take that stance that they don't allow that, and that they only allow people to do it when they say that they can do it. I know they do this thing like, oh, if you're a slot channel, put hashtag slot channel, and that's the only time that they allow something like that. And
To be honest, I did the same thing. I mean, I thought that's just how you do it. Like, I understand that you're not supposed to use someone's show like to promote your own show. Like when I go to NG Slot's show, I adore NG Slot. Like he's authentic, he's nice. I love his play. I love who he is as a person. People greet me and ask about me. It's not about me. Like I'm there to support the show. But something like that, something so innocuous as what are you live tonight? And I wrote at so and so, yes, at 8 p.m. And that was it.
right.
Not please join, please come, hope you're there. Like, you know, it's
And you
not
guys
about
are
me.
friends. It's weird that she would send a message like that to you, and like almost like you were like trying to like sabotage her live stream or something like that by doing something like that, and then
But
saying like,
especially a friend that like you invest a lot of time with, you
right,
know.
maybe if they ran their channel differently and promoted, you know, didn't have these like strict rules, like, you know, they
And I
wouldn't
mean,
have.
honestly, not to like gloat, but why would I promote myself in a show that draws like a tenth of what I would draw on my own show?
Listen, I mean, it's not gloating, it's the truth.
Right.
You know, right. So, you know, it's like going over to someone's channel that's live and they have 10 viewers. And when you go live, you have 100 viewers. Why am I going there for your 10 when I
No,
can
I was
draw
there to
100?
be a friend, and I responded really firmly and hotly. Like I was like pretty much how dare you? Like I'm not looking at the chat, but
Right.
like I
So her next message says, so your response to that was, Heidi, someone asked me about it. I'll ignore it next time. And she says, I didn't see that, but we have another channel that comes on and always has someone ask him about his lives. And you respond, I don't need your channel to promote myself. So now she's tying you in with someone else that seems like that they're doing it. But again, you're friends. Like,
But if you're a friend, this is how I would have treated it. First of all, at least go back and reread the chat. Like you have the chat. Like that point she wasn't not posting the chat after the
I
show.
mean, if my
Like
friend messaged me that, my first response is, are you really, like, are you really doing this? And not only that, but if you
yeah.
want to call a spade, what about all the things that you have done for their channel or the promotion. Like, that's why I don't get it. Like, if you're friends with each other and you have and two people have channels, you promote each other. You know, you're friends. That's what friends do, right? If
Exactly. Like I never, it wouldn't have been like me again coming from the lens where like I do believe in being a good friend. Like friends just do things for each other. Like I was proud that a lot of my supporters and fans were discovering the slot cats. A lot of some of her fans and supporters discovered the Cordies. And
right,
for her to treat me like that again, and even in and of itself, like we tried to, I still was friends after that. But then I started to hear, wow, like, you know, there were some things I didn't particularly like about her. And like we all, I'm sure there's things people don't like about me. But the thing is that now I know there's this demonstrated pattern of people in which self-promotion has been kind of like the thing that has blown them up. You know, there
right,
was a slot channel that is also a Corey right now where her whole mantra, Heidi's, was how evil of a person this is due to self-promotion and other things. I'm not going to name their name, but like I was kind of like scared of the lady. This person knows who they are. I'm like, wow, you're like the sweetest person ever. Like, I can't believe Heidi would have, you know, said these things about you. Or like you did an investigation. I saw your show about the cat club party where it
mhm.
was self-promotion or not, wasn't it other slot channels on
Well,
their screen or something?
you know, Wayne and the Slot Cats were very,
Yeah.
very close friends. And as I got to know Wayne, he, you know, told me what happened between him and the Slot Cats. And it happened at Feline Fest where he was in Vegas at the same time, but didn't attend the events and was live streaming while they were like having a party or something. And they just were mad at him that he was not there and doing his own thing on his channel.
Mhm.
And when they got back home, I don't think they were living in Vegas at the time. When they got back home to California, they blocked Wayne completely and they never spoke to him ever again. And they were friends over something so like silly,
Yeah.
like
One
ridiculous.
time at dinner, Fred literally was crying like hysterically, like real tears to Christopher and I because he loved us so much. He had, I think, a family member that was similar in age to my fiance. Uh, he thought like of us as family, and he was scared for our lives, like just being a homosexual male in America. Like this is how good of friends I thought we were. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then to end it, it's like, so we sort of like were never the same as friends. And then ultimately the kicker was she quit the Cordies without even saying goodbye.
Hmm.
Okay. I don't I'm not like someone in my Patreon club where anyone owes me an explanation if they want to be in it or if they don't want to be in it, if they don't have money to pay their dues, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like I've kept plenty of people in there for free when they lost their job. Like I'm not after anyone's money. But I wrote her a text. I said, you know, because she had told me the same thing about Slot Queen. You know what I mean? When they had a reciprocity kind of situation, I don't know that they were great friends. You'd have to ask them. But, you know, allegedly, right? This isn't my fact or truth to share, but this is just my experience. She's told me this. She left her club, Slot Queen left the Slot Cats without saying goodbye. And she was very, very offended, blah, blah, blah. Like, how dare her? It's a reciprocity thing, blah, 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 blah. So fast forward, she leaves the club. I think this is something like in August. It was right about the last time I saw Brian, and did not even say goodbye. Not even like, thank you for a good year of friendship. Thanks for what you've done for each other. You know, just nothing. To this
Right.
day,
So
nothing.
so you sent so
What did I say?
with that said, you sent a message to Heidi saying, I remember you mentioning how offended you were when Slot Queen left your club without saying anything. Super classy, good luck and stay well. And that was
And to
your
this day, that's our last exchange.
right. So
I just don't know how that's how you treat people. Like, it's like the friendship never happened. It's
right.
like the time at the dinners, the live shows. Like, to be very honest, I feel used and I feel manipulated. Like, I just can't. Like, it was just really, I was bummed. I was really bummed. I can't say I have a million
It
friends. You know
seems
what I
like
mean?
it just seems like she just has a track record of
Yeah.
like that, almost like a mean girl streak or something,
Yeah.
something like that, with like the story that Wayne told me, and then what happened with you, and the whole situation between you and her was completely blown up, on her end, just the accusing you of like trying to
Right.
promote your premiere in her live stream of 200 people is just asinine to me, to be honest. I just couldn't believe she would even approach you with that.
And nobody owes anyone anything when it comes to friendship. I get it. It's like a two-way street. But to me, I just couldn't fathom treating somebody like that. Like, where if I have an issue with somebody, I will tell you what my issue is. I'm not going to just not respond like to a pretty, I thought, polite goodbye message,
Right.
Like, oh well, I mean, that's life. And then it gets awkward, right? Because like the fans and the friends start asking, well, what happened? What
Right.
happened?
Right.
What happened?
And then you're
Like,
in
you
that
go from
awkward.
like planning a cruise together and all this joint events to like crickets,
Right.
and it's like people notice that. They're
And
not
then you're
dumb.
in this awkward situation now where,
Right.
as far as the viewers are concerned, you guys are friends, and now like
Yeah.
everyone's like, what the fuck happened? We don't see you anymore in theirs, or they don't see, vice versa, and you guys
And
don't.
we share some really amazing like friends
Right.
that are fans.
So then it
And
becomes like this like sweep under the rug situation, because now.
right. I don't want to make like a fan of both of ours feel, or like some of our fans are friends, like that's how I treat
Right.
them. Like, they're like
But then
family.
but you
Some,
still have this like the situation's not closed. There's no closure
there's
because
no
like.
closure. And
Right.
like, and I could get like, I could live with that. Right. But then it's like, well,
You always have
then
people
another thing happens again. Like,
right, but you always have
same
someone.
thing.
Believe me, I've been there. You always have someone bringing it up, like, what happened? Why don't you talk to Heidi? And you're like, oh God, now I got to deal with this again. Someone keeps asking me.
And I was always very polite. I was telling all these people, you might have to just ask her, because I haven't heard anything since
Right.
our last exchange.
I mean, and
So
that.
I don't even still to this day know what her reason would be, to just not even say goodbye. And then like when we're at a joint event or something, it's just so awkward. Like when you have to walk by them and it's like,
And
you
that
know,
you're not, so there's you, there's Wayne, there's
mhm,
Lori, there's GQS, there's Panda. I don't believe she's friends with them anymore.
yeah.
There's just so many people that she used to be close with that she's not, and I don't know if she just burns the bridges there or just cuts them off, or whatnot. She's got this sweet persona, like I'm this,
Yeah.
sweet, middle-aged woman, but really, she definitely has a little bit of a nasty side to her, from what I've heard from people, and even all the things that happened at their feline fest.
Yeah.
So you met the slot cats through Brian,
Right.
pretty
Like being
much.
the slot channel, like being in the slot community,
Right. So
I
that
don't
was
know if he
all.
actually introduced us, but it's like we were at the same
That
events.
every
And one
event
thing led to the next.
and
Maybe
they've
he
they've been
introduced us.
riding
I can't
his
remember.
they've been riding
Um,
his jock since day one, so that makes sense that they would be there. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. um so for anyone that doesn't know Jason has been around for a very, very long time. You were on forums for years, even way before YouTube, because I was on forums. I never posted, but I was more of a lurker.
right.
I always knew of you because you always posted big wins, and people
Mhm.
that post big wins, they stick out. um and you were friends with Diana. Now, this was way before you even decided to have a slot channel.
Oh, years
and
and years.
and
Diana was the second person I ever met on the internet through
it
gambling.
must but you met her essentially through the
Through the
forums, right?
message board.
Right.
Yeah, I was a fan of, and still I'm a fan of Diana's. Like, I met her through Twitter and through the messaging boards. And, you know, she's just an amazing woman, a great friend of mine. So I've been friends with Diana for maybe 7, 8 years, something like that.
Right.
And I used to have so much fun when Diana would invite me to play with her on camera. You
Hmm.
know, we would do live streams together, which even in the pandemic, like I would turn on our old live streams like from Las Vegas, and it was just so much fun, and it's still so much fun, like the energy, and just we had such a great time, like true, like genuine friends, you know, like it's for
So,
years.
so, um, so you used to, before you had a channel, you used to, you were always known, in my opinion, you were always known for the person that would play $100 Wheel of Fortune. That was like your thing. Um, and you used to, whenever you would get the spin, you would record it, and you would some of the time, I think, and this is just me assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, you would record
Mhm.
it and then send the footage to Diana, and Diana would put it on her channel in some way. um so Diana had videos from you on
Mhm.
her channel,
Yeah.
and then down the road you eventually just decided to start your own channel.
Years later. And this is the thing. People ask me, how did I decide to start a channel? And I have a lot of new channels reaching out to me on how to be a channel. I think I'm no expert as to how to be a channel. I'd probably be the last person to go to. But what I can say is that people asked me to do my channel for years, like
Right.
years and years and years. I would be spotted on the casino floor. When are you starting your channel, Jason? We'd love to have you, Jason.
Because
You know,
you had a following
I
from
did. I
Diana's
had the
videos.
nicest, and I still do. I have the most amazing supporters, and I'm so thankful for all of them. But yeah, I did send, like, every now and then I would send a video to Diana, and she would use the video, and I know they performed really well. Like, I was proud to see like the comments and how people liked me. They liked my little scream, you
Right.
know. So yeah, I mean, I know, like, to this day, some of my $100 wheel action got way more on Diana's channel than it even did on mine,
Right.
you
So
know.
the first Slotty Awards I did, um, I actually made a joke in there
Yeah.
when I nominated you for something, and I said Diana's Jason rather, and then I was like, oh,
It's the best
is it
supporting actor
right? And
or
I said,
sidekick.
is Jason with Diana or is she with Brian? Because right before you started your channel, there was a shift. As far as I saw, there was a shift where you started to become closer with Brian, and you were with Brian more than you were with Diana.
Mm.
And in my opinion, I said to myself, I was like, wow, I think that Brian Christopher realizes that Jason plays big. At the time, Brian Christopher was not playing big. And
Mhm.
High Limit is always king on YouTube. And I felt like, and this is all my opinion, I felt like Brian seeked you out because you bet big and you did those $100 spins on Wheel of Fortune and would send those videos to Diana, that he kind of befriended you for that reason. Now, prior to this video, I actually did some research. I'm going to put this up. This is the top, I think, 10 videos on Diana's channel by views. 3 of them are Jason's. Um, videos that Jason sent to Diana. And, I always found that Brian Christopher was this calculated type person. And I was like, could he have looked at something like this and said, wow, these $100 spin videos, they do great for Diana. I want some $100 spin videos. Because eventually, when Brian did start betting big, he was playing that Wheel of Fortune like crazy, trying to get spins because he
He
knew,
never got one ever.
right, because he's not lucky, but he
Right.
knew the power of YouTube with those $100 spins. Those videos were gold when you put up a spin like that.
You know what? It never crossed my mind that that could be until the last like year or so. So like essentially I met Brian through the Vegas Fanatics message board. They were hosting a cocktail hour. Like I don't know if it was one of the members was hosting a meet and greet in a really fabulous suite at Planet Hollywood. This was probably sometime in the spring of 2017, I think, where Brian and Marco were there. I was there with my fiance. We were probably the youngest, people there. So we kind of like naturally gravitated to chat with one another. I kind of knew who he was, but I had my own feelings on him at the time, just what I knew, like, like on his website and things like that, just kind of like what he was looking for at the time.
Right.
Brian, yeah, I knew like he had a thing on his website, which I mentioned to some friends, which I thought was sort of like shocking to me, that like he could be hired by the hour or something if you want to play slots. I remember this on the website. I was like, who would do that? Right. Like, and plus, of course, what I knew of him was, again, this is my opinion from what I've heard and seen from people, that he basically appeared at a group pool, in the Cosmopolitan of all of these members. And essentially, I think you have receipts on this.
So you were part of the Vegas Fanatics forum,
which I was not at the group poll that night, but yeah.
And Diana was part of this forum as well. Now, she wasn't at this group poll. So essentially what happened, let me pull up the receipts, and I'm also going to put them on the screen. So somebody on the forum, Elf70, wanted to organize a group poll. And she posted it on the forum, and then people respond on the forum if they're gonna attend the group poll or not. I'm just setting it up for people that may or may not know how it works. And Brian Christopher responds, "Hey all, I'm totally in. I'll see you at 10 p.m. in the high limit room at Cosmo." So they do the group poll. There's D Vandentop. I don't know if anyone knows of his channel. He stopped posting, but he was popular for a long time. He's
still very active on the board.
Yep, he's still very active. He just doesn't post. He was the designated person to record the group poll and then upload it to YouTube. That was all set up in advance. I guess that's what you guys did at the group poll, because I know a couple days later, Diana held a group poll. And Diana, obviously, since she had a channel, was the designated person to record the group poll and then post it on her channel. But she wasn't there for that one. Derek was. D Van.
And she credited the group. That's the key.
Right. So SD Guy has actually had this message in his vault for a very long time, and I had him crack it. So it's a conversation on Facebook between him and Derek. And SD Guy pretty much says, "Can you retell the story of the group poll you went to that he recorded? Was he uninvited or some shit? And he just started taping when you were the designated person to do so. Refresh my memory." Derek responds, "Basically, I was in the saddle doing the recording, and he decides he is just going to record off on the side." Now, if you look at this picture I'm going to show, this is from the video on Brian Christopher's YouTube channel, where you could see he's not recording the slot dead on because he's not the designated person. He's recording it like this, and you'll see in the photo I'm going to show you. So Derek,
I even heard it's not a stretch to say that group was completely outraged.
Right.
Like outraged. Like, how does someone, again, I wasn't there, but I knew enough to have heard that, how does someone just basically vulture all of this footage and content, then rebrands it as basically his thing without even giving any credit to the group?
Right.
Like, so this is the Vegas Fanatic message board group.
And he was like,
here's their link to their website.
He was like a new guy. He was a new guy there too. Like, he was just someone.
I don't remember him being like very active in the forum. And again, this is just off my memory.
So Derek,
I don't remember him being like really involved. Like, I think he was there like as an
he was a participant. Pretty much. He was a participant. Right.
Yeah. Obviously on a mission to steal the footage.
Right. So Derek responds, "Pretty much every group poll to this point has a designated recorder to post it. Well, he took it upon himself to run up to his room and edit a video as soon as the group poll was over. And by the time I woke up in Vegas, he already had the video published."
And it went to over 1 million views, didn't it?
Yeah, so the video at this point now is at 1.1 million views.
Wow.
It was one of his first,
Big
videos.
one.
I think like within the first
Yeah.
30 or 40 videos that he ever uploaded to his channel as a slot channel. It was posted June 26, 2016.
Yeah.
It has a 12, almost 1,200 thumbs down on it. Because SD Guy does talk about this video a lot, but he never actually went through, the whole chain of events, and he attempts to explain it, but actually seeing this from Derek saying like, I was going to post this to my channel. I was the person in this group poll that was going to upload it to my channel. It was all agreed upon, and he, recorded off on the side on the sly, and then uploaded it to his channel like within a couple of hours of the group poll ending. That just
I
goes
guess the public can be the judge. To me, that
right.
seems
I
very
mean,
low
that
end.
that's the type of person he is.
Yeah.
And I when I went to go look at that video and saw that it has 1.1 million views, I say to myself, that's like his first viral video of his channel.
It
Where
was
would his
pivotal.
channel be today without that video? And that video is based on stolen content from someone else,
Yeah.
that he has never publicly
And
acknowledged.
again, this ties into one of the things that's going to come up is this notion that when it comes to him, if you're a public figure, quote unquote, with millions and millions of watchers every month, people are going to talk about you. And it's like, if someone is speaking a factual thing and he doesn't like it, it's lies, it's hate, it's people dragging him through the mud. You know what I mean? So, you just have to take all these little things and add them all up to a track record. Is it you, Easy Life Joe, just making up lies? Or is it like facts he doesn't like hearing?
Right, exactly. I mean, that's sometimes
Part of why I'm here.
the
Again, it's
truth
not
the
my
truth
first
is a tough pill to
expertise,
swallow.
but so
So that's what happened with the group poll. So you weren't there for that group poll.
no.
And then fast forward a couple of years later. So
It wasn't even, it was just a few months later. I guess he made amends with some of the people there to some degree to actually appear at again, one of the members, his name was Aaron, I believe, was hosting like a cocktail party, like a meet and greet. And I met Brian and Marco there. And honestly, I didn't feel as though that we had the most amazing conversation. Again, in retrospect, like it was certainly a pleasant conversation. I know I was drinking, which I tend to do in Vegas. I know I dodged out of the party to go gamble, and I left poor Christopher at the party with them. I know. But long story short, I got an invitation from Brian, with right at that first meeting, maybe a day later, invited to go to his house in Los Angeles to help celebrate Marco's birthday party.
mhm.
And I thought that was just so nice. I was like, wow, like he's really nice. Maybe I'll just go. I have a friend in LA who, now she's like almost 85 or 6 years old. I met her on a cruise ship. So I flew down to LA. I stayed by her. I actually took her to the party. Christopher didn't want to go. And had a great time, celebrating Marco's birthday.
Mhm.
But
So
again, now that I look back on it, it's like, well, that was really, would Brian now like just invite someone to his home? I don't know. Like, it just seems like, wow, like it was almost too good to be true. I don't know. Like,
so you were friends with Diana, like we said, and then you start to hang out with Brian,
mhm.
and then eventually you decided to start a channel.
Yeah. I mean, years later, like this
Right.
was right now we're in like, I met Brian in the spring of 17, I think. And then I started my channel like 2 years later. Again, because for one, I never thought I would know how to do it. I'm not tech savvy. If you watch my videos, there's no bells and whistles. It's very like old school Diana. Like I just film and show
Right.
it.
You
Like
film it and
I don't do like graphics. And I honestly thought it was like a liability for me to be a really good channel. Like you should have some knowledge on how to do some things, I should have taken a class or something. I don't know. But
right.
I just loved interacting with the people who liked me. Like I literally would get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments and I would respond to all of them, as I'm working.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of channels do that. Like, I just loved engaging with these
Right.
supporters.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you started your channel, and I
Mhm.
remember when you started your channel, I believe you did a live stream with Brian and you did a live
Mhm.
stream with Diana, and your channel just took off out of nowhere. Um,
It was a
and
hot start.
right, you had that initial push from Brian, and you had a push from Diana, and then you were on your own pretty much, and you just went full speed ahead. You were uploading videos like
Yeah.
every day, I believe.
I never intended to start by doing daily videos. Like, I didn't really know what I was getting into. Like, obviously I had an idea, but it was just going so well. I was like, wow, like I just need to like get them out there. Like I gotta post those videos every day.
Right.
And like leading into it, I guess we're kind of skipping like the 2 years preceding to it. I mean, Brian had publicly stated many times I was his best friend, outside of Marco, obviously,
Hmm.
like bestie or best friend. Like I was like his sidekick, like I really, now I found out the other day he deleted our videos. I didn't even notice this.
Oh, he did.
Um, yeah, he
So
sent
all
me a
these.
message.
So wait a minute. So all
We'll
these.
get to that. Yeah.
So all these videos that I actually sent you the other day, the Brunk one and the.
No, 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 no. Um, like as King Jason, I think we can discuss this. There's a news development just off the
Oh.
presses from yesterday.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but we were great friends. Like we even traveled together out of the casino. I would get heat sometimes from people like, "Oh, how could you be friends with blah 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 blah?" I'm like, "Well, he's great to me. Like I think he's a good person." Like I didn't always agree with some of like the business practices, like the hand sanitizer thing, for example. Like I mentioned it at dinner, the first time I saw him in the pandemic. Like, I never had trouble speaking freely with him. I'm not sure he always liked that, but I
But
thought we
that's
had
what
a
a but
real
that's what a friend does.
friendship.
That's what a
Yeah,
friend does. Like if
yeah.
I'm friends with someone, I'll call you out on your shit and you can call me out on my shit. That's fine.
Absolutely. Like that's what friendship is. And then um what, after like Brian was extremely supportive of me and my channel when I first started, having me on the live. I know I gained like maybe 3,000 subscribers within a day just off of that live. And he's celebrated, like he was really excited and into it. And then little bit like just basically the friendship just faded. Like I never like I used to really be in good touch with him, and then suddenly like I wouldn't hear from him for weeks, months. It just was just like not like kind of the friendship that once was.
Right. And if he's saying you're besties or whatever.
Yeah, that someone else took that spot. So, it's like
Well, I mean, not to well, I mean, it's relevant. I guess it's just a question. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer it. But do you feel like the friendship with Slot Queen, like she tried to push you out or something?
well, there was an incident where we would have these like considering Brian's extremely busy schedule. I'm
Hmm.
also very busy as a working professional. Like we would quote unquote plan these buddy trips, right? Like we would get together, we'd play, it wouldn't always be on camera, like a genuine friend would. And then like basically he had become close friends with Slot Queen. And again, I have to say on the record, Slot Queen has never done anything to me personally. And in fact, she was very, very supportive of me when I started my channel. She actually told me what selfie stick to buy. She told me like a lot about how to go live. So again, although like I'm not friends with her, I do appreciate what she did to help me start my channel. But I did not enjoy like hanging out with her like for a full weekend,
Hmm.
not to sound rude.
Some people
Um,
aren't your cup of tea. That's fine.
yeah, it is what it is. So like we had a trip planned in January, which I thought was going to be like a buddy trip with Brian and I. And then this is just like not this January, but the one before. Um, and then he had like basically said, "Oh, by the way, Slot Queen's coming, Danielle's coming." And I just didn't want to be around it. So I canceled.
Hmm.
That was in January, right before the pandemic,
Right.
right? And then from there, it's like, it was basically, in my mind, our friendship was over. Like, he was extremely hurt, he says, that I canceled the trip. And I was real with him. I said, I just don't want to go. I don't want to be around the group.
Mm-hmm.
Free, like,
Right.
so, from there, it's like I kind of knew it was over, but it was never stated as being over. Get what I'm saying?
Right. So he just like
Like,
kept you at arm's length almost.
exactly. Like, part of his argument that comes out now is like how I canceled out of his club 3 times and I pushed him out of my club 2 times. Well, here's the thing. If like I felt like I was being spied on, that's why I canceled. Like, every now and then, like, someone would come in my live show under the Brian handle. I know how Brian types. Like, I didn't think it was him, and it offended me. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it was almost like patronizing me, because I later found out, in his mind, again, this is my opinion and I'm entitled to it, just like he's entitled to his. To me, in my opinion, he sees friendship as transactional. He sees friendship as, promoting you. So like, he uses this language even as of yesterday. I finally heard from him after 6 months. Ironic, the day before the show, right? This
Mm-hmm.
show.
Right.
Like, to him, friendship is being in the Patreon. It's promoting. It's, putting on an appearance, I guess.
Because at the end of the day, it's a
Business.
business. It's a
Yeah.
business, and you have, we'll call, a real job where you make
Mhm.
money outside of YouTube. So YouTube is not your generating income. So this is secondary for you. Everything that
It
goes
was
on
for
here.
fun. I mean,
Right.
I lost way more than what I was making.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat as you. But for
Right.
him, that pays the mortgage, that pays the bills, whatever. Um,
And I don't besmirch that for him. I don't even know if that's a
we don't
word.
even we don't even have to get into that. But
Yeah.
the point is that all these relationships with him, in my opinion, they're business relationships where
Right.
on your end you considered him a friend or like a real friend.
I thought
You
we were really, really good friends, and not just in my mind, like demonstrated in personal trips outside the casino, couples trips,
right.
like a real friend, like you can go to, like constant interaction. Like, so then after that January thing, when I canceled the Aria trip, there was no interaction at all.
Hmm.
Like, what changed? It's not like I suddenly started, you know, chatting with people who hate him, like, it's like I never changed, I don't think. I mean, that's up to anyone to decide if I'm still who I am. I think I am still who I am. But my, ultimately my feelings were really hurt. Like, it was, what happened was, like, even a couple years ago, like on my birthday, he would fly into Reno, host a group poll in my name, host events in my name, live show, custom made shirt for Jason that we both wore.
Hmm.
Like, it's, I think there's a better way to do things, right? Like, if you're over the person, say so. Like, say hi, it
Right.
was a great time being a friend for XYZ reason, let's not be
That
friends.
doesn't, but that doesn't even make sense. So because you canceled that trip in January, that's
Mhm.
when he, you know, changed or whatever. Like, what if you, had something important that you couldn't make the trip for? Why would it be that? Why would it be
I said
that?
it was work, which wasn't even really a lie. I did work that weekend, but um he, as far as I know, he said his feelings were really hurt.
Hmm.
And I apologized. I said I'm sorry, and I let him know the real reason. It was because I didn't want to be in the group. You
Right.
know, I, again, with respect to Slot Queen, I just didn't want to hang out.
Right. And that's fine. That's your business. Instead
Yeah.
of going and not having a good time, you just chose not to go. And
Right.
that's
I'm not good at being fake. Like, you
right.
know what I mean? I know there's a channel out there, the two phases of Jason. Like, actually, I don't think I'm that good at it.
Right.
So,
No, I agree. So so he changes, I guess you feel like in January, but yet you're so you never saw him? Like you haven't seen
I
him in
saw
over a
him
year?
in May. Like, we decided to, like, we talked about these issues, and we actually met up. The first trip I took in the pandemic was to Arizona because they were open ahead of Vegas. I just like wanted to like get out of the house, go to the pool. I checked the rules. It wasn't illegal for me to go, you know. So I went to Phoenix. I was like the only one wearing a mask at the time. It's like crazy. And he actually was down there to do some live shows. And he actually went out of his way to come have dinner with me, which I thought was very nice. We had a nice dinner. We played some. And then I didn't hear anything again. And again, it just was very awkward and not like normal. And then ultimately we had like I don't want to say it's a fight, but like we finally talked on the phone. And long story short, we decided to meet up in August at Agua Caliente. And then essentially that's the last time I spoke to him.
So did you meet up? Did you meet up with him?
I did. Like we met up, we did some lives with each other. Like we did a live show, you know, had a good time, had a cabana day. And then after that, it was like, basically I never heard from him ever again.
What the hell?
Yeah. Like after, there was one time I texted him because there was a video that got sent out via email showing his big win, his biggest win ever. Like he let me know that he hit a major on Huff and Puff, that he played because of me, because I was betting the same way and doing well on it. And then like they spoiled his winning amount. Like that was literally our last exchange on that text message until let me just look real quick. Until I feel like I'm blabbering now. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah, like December 2nd was about the Huff and Puff. And then I wished him a happy birthday in February.
Right.
And that's the last private exchange we've had. And mind you, I knew the friendship was over when on my birthday. After in previous years, I've gotten cards in the mail. I always gotten personal text. I've gotten group polls in my name. No, not even a happy birthday, not even like a like or a thumbs up on any of the media. Like, you know, my birthday cake at Cosmo got like 400 likes or something. Not that I'm counting, but like they're, for me, like very, very popular photos.
Right.
No one on him, his team, anyone even hit the thumbs up. So then I knew for sure it was done, right? Like that was like the end.
It's just so weird how he would just like end it out of nowhere, like without saying anything. But I guess it's like what I said, he just wanted to keep you at arm's length. He didn't want there to be just another channel that, you know, doesn't like him. I mean, let's be honest here. You know, when you look at all the big slot channels, you don't see any of them supporting him. You know, they all have their reasons, whether, you know, they just don't like him for what he does or whatnot. But he's had, you know, a lot of falling outs with people as well. And my personal opinion is that he keeps a few slot channels close so he could say, I'm part of the slot community. And, you know, I support the slot community, which is why I think, you know, he keeps like Slot Queen and the Slot Cats around, because then he could always say, see, I support other channels.
But you see, the thing is, in January, like when it was my birthday and like I knew it was over, like my feelings were really, really hurt. Like I was really like, it's like, again, it was like I was reliving what happened with the Slot Cats. It's like, okay, great, this happened with the Slot Cats. It's like we weren't friends that long, right?
Right,
like,
but you were friends with him for a long time.
It's not like it was 10 years, but like in my like life, I don't really bring in a lot of close friends. Like it's like just a daily thing. I wake up, I work, I watch some TV, I go to bed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I have a huge social life. And like, when I realized that friendship was over, I just was like really a little upset around my birthday. And like, I honestly was not having fun filming. And like, every time I turn on YouTube, seeing him, like, it really kind of upsetted me. It was really a reason on top of like life that I decided to not film for a while, you know, like I just wasn't in the right headspace. Like it was, and I say this feeling guilty because again, I have the most amazing supporters who love me, but for some reason the filming and the being a slot channel, I just got the worst taste in my mouth.
Right. So I guess we could touch upon that. So you pretty much, you stopped recording in the casino, and you also stopped,
February.
and
Yeah.
you stopped uploading videos to YouTube.
Mhm.
And I was getting a lot of comments on my videos because people always will come to me when there's quote unquote tea in the slot community, and people were asking me why you stopped uploading videos to YouTube, and I really didn't even know. I messaged you and I asked you. Um,
Yeah, I
and
mean, I'm taking a break, like, because I'm planning on a big move and things like that. But honestly, like, I didn't have the same joy, like, from doing it. Like, it just, again, I've just, maybe I'm a little jaded from the last year or so, like, with these channels. I don't know. Like,
I listen, I can understand, from a personal standpoint as well, because there were people that I were friends with that did me wrong. And
yeah.
after that all went down, I really lost that drive to do anything really as far as YouTube is concerned. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, it's not fucking worth it. I was like, any friendships that you form on YouTube, wind up going to shit one way or another. And I'm like, it knocks you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I could definitely understand where you're coming from as far as, taking a break. Um, I guess my advice would be just, don't let it bother you. If you're still having a good time with it, then continue
No,
to have
again,
a
and
good
I'm still really active with my Patreon. It's closed now. I'm not taking new members or anything, but they're like family. They are family. Like, we
right.
support each other, and there'll be a day when I'm back. Like, I just have to, be like the real happy good Jason. People know it. They're like, I got messages, Jason, you don't seem like you're as happy these days. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, but
So
yeah, there was a development too. So, what caused me to actually come forward to be willing to do the show was what Brian finally spoke. Like, after all these months, he messaged someone very, very close to me, and I showed you the picture.
mhm.
And what he said is that um his team was being asked about me, right? His fans were fielding questions just like you were about my whereabouts. And Brian wanted to check in to see if I was okay. And of course, he didn't text me to see if I was okay. He texted someone else to see if I was okay. And what he said it just appalled me, because they asked, they're like, well, we wish you and Marco well. Sorry that this has occurred, blah, blah, blah. And he wrote, yeah, I pulled back from Jason some because he is associating with channels, plural, multiple channels, which I don't even talk to multiple channels, spreading lies and hate, that choose to spread lies and hate about me. So he, quote unquote, pulled back some. Like, again, it's like, that's his right, but that's kind of a dick move.
100
Like, you don't just like treat someone like they're a commodity to be pulled from, like, did all of that time not matter? Like,
not
you,
only that, but who's he to say who and what you could, promote or, be friends with or whatever, that's his opinion that there's other channels that spread lies and hate, as he wants to call it. But that has nothing to do with you.
but, and again, I think, like, when people have presented their feelings to me about him, like, I've always been very, like, defensive in a way. Like, he's a really good person. Like, he's really passionate about his business, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I felt like I was a pretty good friend. And, like, when he wrote that, it just really was just like, all right, I'm going to speak. I'm going to tell my truth.
And then the other thing is why can't he come to you with this?
No,
Why?
it gets even better, because then the next day, this is our new development. As of yesterday, finally, I get a group message from him to me and my fiance. Again, I hate to even bring him up, but saying about how it was a rant, this long rant of all the wrongs that have been done, and like how he cherishes our time, and again, it's very transactional how he went out of his way to promote me. He took down all the videos that had promoted me and blah, blah, blah.
So what videos did he take down?
I didn't even look, but I guess like if you can you find the live show from him and I in Palm Springs? Like that would be one of them if
I
he
don't
took
know.
them
I'll have to look and see.
Yeah. So, you know, he's tried so hard to fix our friendship, blah, blah, blah. So, and he cherishes our
But
time.
how did he try
Sorry
so
it ended this way, and it really didn't have to end this way.
how did he try so hard if he ignored you for months?
Well, that's my point. Like, I think it's, again, I've always heard that he's very calculated and everything has a purpose. And I always kind of just shrugged it off. I was like, no, I don't think that's true. But if you kind of think about it, and again, this is just my opinion, when he messaged this person to check on me, I don't think he cared about how I was doing. I think it's to make himself look good so he can tell people that he checked on me,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like
That
I'm
was
a good person.
that
Like he cared
that
about me, he would have texted me and said, "Hey, how are you doing? Okay, I'm sorry this didn't work out." But instead, he takes it to another degree and then involves my family
right.
in his group message.
Right. Because
This is the kind of it's manipulation
calculated. It's
and
calculated.
it's really calculated and it's cold. I
And
didn't message Marco, "Oh, like sorry Brian, you're an asshole." Like I didn't do that, right? Like we're just
what
different
what
people.
he
I'm not
did, what he did was send you that message so he always has that receipt. He always has that receipt to say, look, this is what I sent to Jason.
yeah.
That's what he did. That's the reason why he did it, because everything's about saving face to him.
I think so. I do.
It's his track record, just like how he said to you in that message, you support people that spread hate and
Oral.
lies about him.
Oral.
Right,
Oral.
multiple people.
Yeah.
So listen, he could be entitled to his own opinion that it's hate and lies, but um I have never, out of anyone that, well, except the big jackpot who has said some things that really aren't true and aren't right, but for the most part, any channel that has ever said something about Brian Christopher is the truth and it's not a lie. Maybe he doesn't like the way it's said, but it's the truth.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I can't say that we're close friends or anything, but I'm willing to appear on your show because I do respect your work. And like I think that everything you've posted has always had fact behind it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's like I'm not gonna be silent so they can continue to say, like, oh, they're spreading hate and lies. It's not hate and lies. You just don't like the facts.
Right.
Like,
The hand sanitizer, all the traveling
correct.
during the pandemic. Even a long time ago, I don't know if you ever saw this video, but I actually got access to the press packet that he sends out to the casinos, to try to get them to allow recording. He lists like the top 5 channels and shows in this PowerPoint presentation how his views are superior to the other channels. And the way he references all the channels is competition. And I found that to be so interesting that he considers every single large slot channel competition because it's a business, right?
Absolutely.
Excuse me. So I think
And it was only magnified as he grew. Like when he brought in Brit, for example, like that's when it completely changed. You know what I mean? Like, he was always a little more willing, I think, to be on the floor late at night, like to gamble, to go live for his fan club. Like I was always involved in those live shows. And then like fast forward when she came in, I mean, she even was kind of rude to me a couple times, honestly. Like, and I told
really,
her so. Oh yeah. Like at the celebrity slot, and I say celebrity, I don't feel like I'm a celebrity, but the slot star tournament, she did not think that I greeted him in an appropriate way on the floor, like during the tournament. Like after I had won the tournament, I was just like in a daze. I was jumping up and down and screaming. And, like he went to hug me and I didn't see him. And like she actually made a point to literally pound on that thought, not just a joke, but like she literally thought that I dissed Brian on the stage floor. like, yeah,
What did she want you to do? Bow down to him?
I guess, I don't know. But like, and then it just all changed, like, it all changed.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So she's well, I guess that's why his head has gotten so much bigger because he has someone like that, inflating it for him now.
I don't know about that, but I think that it's definitely a business, like you say. Like, she hovers over him, monitoring every push, every dollar going out. Like,
Wow.
it wasn't never as like so casual as it was before, when he's, just on the floor, like with friends filming. It's very
Oh, so
calculated.
it's really different. So back when you guys were friends, it's not the same anymore. Everything's, calculated and on a piece of paper per se.
Which, I
So
mean, I guess is, I'm not saying I should be doing that, right? Keep track of every penny I'm losing. Like, but it's like literally like, what's the fun? Like, it's not
right.
like fun is what I'm trying to say. It's like, if you're like gambling on a spreadsheet, like every push,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Wow. Well, I guess to each their own, but that's pretty interesting that that's the way it goes down now.
It's just like
So
a parallel. It's like they're two peas in the pod, like how they treat people. Like do you see the similarities like in what happened to me with the cats and then what happened with Brian? Like, again, it's like nobody owes anyone friendship. Like, nobody owes, like, I don't feel like they owe me much of anything, but I think a more humane way to treat things would be is to tell the person directly what your issue is, not at the end when there's a show about to be done, not bringing in the families. I still haven't even heard from Heidi, like,
so I guess, and I've told you this before, I'll be completely frank. I always, whenever I spoke to you, and I will say for sure, anytime I ever spoke to you about Brian, you really didn't engage with the conversation because you were friends with him. But
mhm.
I told you from a personal standpoint that I felt like your friendship was for his business. It was, for his own personal use. And I think even on previous videos of mine, I've said the day will come when Jason is no longer friends with Brian because he's just being used. And that goes back to my Diana thing where he's so, this is all my own thought process, but
Mhm.
he saw those videos, he saw the high limit videos, he loved that you played high limit, said, okay, I could be friends with Jason. Jason can give me some content, high limit content, because I'm not betting $100 a spin. He was all
Mhm.
fine and dandy with you, playing whatever. But once you started your channel, that's when you no longer became a friend. And like that spreadsheet that I referenced, you essentially now became competition. And
And I'm, what was I like, at my best, a tenth of his amount? Like, I don't know how he would ever see me as competition. I don't believe he sees me as competition, but I
and
do
that's fine. And
agree that it
that's
all,
that's my opinion.
no, I'm
And
saying, again, the light bulb, it's definitely possible that, like, when someone goes from being that intense of a friend to crickets, it's like you wonder, like, were you used? Are you being manipulated? Like, was
right,
it, how could you, again, I don't want to say I'm like hypersensitive, but I don't have a million friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it hurts me to lose a friend that I thought was a close friend. I'm not like hurt now, I'm just angry now. Like, I just think it's a joke,
right.
but
And I also think of it as back then when you were playing big, he didn't, and now he can play big.
well, he had more use for me then, like,
Right.
like,
And that's sad. That's really sad that
yeah.
if that's what he did and that was his motive, to actually, do that. I'm not saying that he didn't enjoy your friendship. I'm sure he did. But I really think that the turning point was when you started a channel.
Mhm.
And, I will be completely honest. When I see a new channel, I always say, oh, they're not going to go anywhere. And you know what? Maybe he said the same thing about you. Oh, he'll get 2,000 subscribers, 3,000 subscribers, whatever. He probably wasn't expecting 20 something thousand subscribers in a year.
Yeah.
And the growth that's rapid growth. And that's where I come from, where I say, I think you became competition because you have, a similar personality, bubbly personality, betting big, putting out tons of jackpot videos. That's competition for him. And you have a loyal following when you make a Patreon, and you have all these people, and you're doing all these live streams. And I think that really that drove a wedge in your friendship, and that's what I think happens ultimately. I think it's all bullshit as far as the canceling that trip and who you're supporting. I think that's all bullshit. I think it's that he doesn't want you on his channel anymore because he's not going to give you that push, and I think that's what it's about. You don't see him too often with any channels anymore. It's sad, but that's what I think. What's that?
It's life. I mean, it is what it is.
I guess, but it's fucked up, like you said, where your fiance and you and him.
Yeah, it's like to say in the message, like, how horrible it is for Marco too to be drug into this. Like, it's and my fiance, it's like, why did you just message him then?
Right.
What does my fiance have to do with this? This is as of yesterday. Today's Sunday, right? As of Saturday. Like, to send this long-winded rant, basically putting me in a bad light to my own family. Like, to me, that is just the low of the low, right? Like a last-ditch effort to have me not do the show.
Why? You think that's what
my family and my good friends think of me being on the show, but like, why would you? To me, it's a manipulation. It's like really like low end. Like, you couldn't just text me personally. Do you see the theme here?
He wasn't trying to salvage anything, right?
No, it was just a long rant and wishing me well and Christopher well, and
And what does Marco have to do with anything that he's saying Marco's being brought into this? What is that? But what does that have to do with anything? I don't understand that. And the other thing is, he said that before.
I especially don't think it's fair for Marco or Chris, who didn't sign up for this. Friends in life will grow apart for many reasons, and that is just part of life. I do cherish the time we spent together, and also as couples on our getaways. I'm sorry it ended this way.
Where did he get this from? A Walmart card?
And I really don't think it had to, but I wish you and Chris the very best. And then he pastes the email you sent below it, requesting his appearance. And he did speak about he will not have a part in promoting that channel, meaning you, to hear his side. His phone was always there for me to call and discuss anything, as friends should do, right? But he does sound like there was some misunderstanding going on. Truth is, we were great friends for a long time, and as time grew on, we grew apart. That's his perspective. So.
Okay. I mean, I guess he's entitled to his opinion.
Again, but you have to message the whole family. You couldn't have just messaged me. Still no private message.
That's low. That's kind of low to go and message.
Very upsetting. Yeah.
That's pretty low.
Expected, though, honestly, at this point. Yeah.
Like, these are the things I've been saying for quite a long time, that this is the type of person that he is. But I guess people have to figure it out on their own. Right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, I feel like we covered a lot, but is there anything else that you feel like we need to touch on? I think that we got everything.
No, again, I just want to thank the viewers, like all the people that have reached out to me wanting to know my story, like checking in on me, how am I, liking my videos, thank you so much. I want to thank you, like, for what you do. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's like, I think you're one that only shares like the facts, and when you don't know it's a fact, you say so. So, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Well, it's an interesting story. You were friends with him for a long time. You've been around for a long time. You're friends with Diana. I always felt like he kind of stole you from Diana. I made that joke, like I said, during the Slotty Awards, but I kind of think that there was a little bit of truth to that he seeked you out to become friends with you. That's what I think happened. And then once he no longer had any use for you, he just tossed you aside, which he's done before.
It's not the first time and it's not the last time.
No, and I've publicly said, Slot Queen, will have her day as well. I don't think I will be inviting her on my channel to talk about it, but I think she'll have her day as well, because that's just who he is. He's not a good person, and he has that anyone listen, I could simply say it as this: anyone who during a global pandemic will sell hand sanitizer at a 500% markup is not a good person, and that's the truth.
I thought it was appalling. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. So I mean, if you don't have anything else, we'll end it. But you're moving, right? You told me you're moving.
Yeah.
And then hopefully once you get settled in, you'll be back to uploading videos. Maybe not every day, but
probably not every day.
Yeah. No one will ever understand the amount of work when you're a one-man band, because you're pretty much a one-man band yourself. You edit your videos and make thumbnails and whatnot. No one will ever understand, if you're just one person, how much time it takes to run a channel like that, to upload a video every day. Until you
and just like answering the comments too, like I get anxiety like if I didn't answer my comments, like because I feel very like blessed that someone took the time to write me. So like I literally like to go one by one, and if
Right.
you get buried in work or something, it's like, oh my god, I'm not caught up, blah blah blah.
Right.
So yeah, the break has been good.
And a lot of people just don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. It definitely helps when you have a significant other or something that helps you, or you have a staff. But most people, we're not doing this to pay the bills. We're just doing this for a good time. So hopefully you go back to your live streaming, because I enjoyed your live streams from the casino. And once you get settled in, hopefully you start back up and you get your mojo back, and realize that really nothing was lost by your friendship. You had your good times with him, and it's part of the past, like everything else, I guess.
Yeah. No, this was helpful. Thank you again.
So everyone, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to King Jason's channel, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Now I gotta ride or die.